Indigenous Ecuadorians continue converging on the capital, Quito, to give their president an ultimatum. Either repeal highly unpopular austerity measures or get out, they say.
We've come from the middle of Ecuador to reject this unpopular government that's taken measures dictated by the IMF.
President Lenin Moreno says he's open to dialogue, but insists he can't back out of his commitment to reduce the fiscal debt by eliminating fuel subsidies, something he'd vowed never to do when he took office. The demonstrators were further angered when they found out that President Moreno had moved the executive branch overnight to the coastal city of Guayaquil. For hours and well into the night, protesters tried without success to overcome riot police in an attempt to surround the presidential palace and National Assembly.
Some of the indigenous leaders are asking them to move away so that they don't put their lives at risk and to march to another part of the city. But they're angry. They say they are not going to budge, that they haven't walked so far to turn back now.
The leader of the National Confederation of Indigenous People told Al Jazeera there would be no dialogue until President Moreno returns to Quito and repeals the decree.
If Moreno doesn't want to administer this country, where there's social chaos, where there's no social justice, no freedom, better he leave the country forever to join that other fugitive from justice, ex-President CORREA. They can live together.
Moreno says the worst unrest in more than a decade in this country is being orchestrated by his former boss, and now his worst enemy, former President RAFAEL CORREA, who lives in self-imposed exile in Brussels. CORREA denies he's pulling the strings, but he doesn't hide his political ambitions, including the possibility of returning home to run for vice president.
Either Moreno resigns or he asks for early elections, which would be the constitutional and democratic way to overcome this grave situation.
That scenario may be premature, despite the mounting social unrest and political intrigue here. But then again, Ecuador has a very long history of presidents being forced out before their term is up. Lucia, Newman, Al Jazeera, Quito.